How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to the house in Fata Morgana. Last episode it was great. Yeah, it got a little dark, got a little real. I mean, I can't blame it. I can understand how Giselle is feeling. I don't know if I'd feel much different. I hope I would, but, you know, sometimes you go through just so much and it just feels like there's no light at the end of the tunnel anymore. And that's something to be serious about because, I don't know, like I said, I don't know the answer to that question. I just have to I have to hold to the hope that there's always hope. That there's a reason to keep pushing forward no matter how dark it gets. But that's something I can't really communicate. And that's not what I'm going to focus on here today. Right now, I'm hoping we get to see progression. Because I know this story doesn't end well. It's a tragedy. It's going to end poorly. We already know that. But I can hope that before the inevitable comes, that Giselle can find some measure of peace. That Michel will be able to understand her better. And that their reason why they're both still trapped inside this mansion is because there is genuine love between them. That's my hope. That's all I can ask for. So, let us jump in. No dallying around this time. We are back to the mansion. And since we know that the fourth door is a like and shadow of what really happened, just because the mobs have been turned away now, like the crazy man who tried to kill Giselle last time in the last memory, they'll be back. Probably driven more by desperation than anything else. Possibly at the head of the noble, whom they're going to probably use to come over here. Pointing a finger of blame at the lack of taxes to Michel, the lord who told them to stay away and not pay taxes. Which is probably what they'll tell him. So we'll have to see. We will know. We will know. Okay, let's move on. That was the door. I might have best let it stay shut. Not knowing the truth would have been so much easier. I wouldn't have been made to shudder in disgust, hearing about the crimes of my own family. But if I hadn't opened the door, I would have lost everything. That day, after far too long, I finally let myself see the person in Giselle. Giselle did not recover for some time after I managed to get her inside. Unsure what else I could do for her, I had her sit before the fireplace and waited in silence as she sobbed. I had no idea what one was supposed to say to someone who was crying. Was it normal to offer them a warm drink? I didn't know. I did know that I needed to reflect on the things she had said outside and try to make some sense of them. And from there, calm myself down and prepare for the conversation we were to have, as unpleasant as it was sure to be. A considerable amount of time later, Giselle's sobbing drew to a stop, and oppressive silence stepped in to take its place. Hi, Giselle. You alright? For far longer than was comfortable, the only sound we heard was the gentle crackling of the fire. I had to say something. I knew that, but what I didn't know was how to begin. I knew nothing about having an honest face-to-face discussion with someone about the things they were thinking and feeling. But that didn't change anything. I had to do it. Even if down that road lay truths I'd be happier not seeing. Giselle. Could you please tell me what you did what was done to you at my father's home, my family's home? How you ended up coming to this mansion, and what happened after you left. I would like to know everything from start to finish. Will you? Believe what I tell you. You never so much as gave me the time of day before. And I very much doubt you will find what I have to say agreeable. Will you still believe me, even then? Believe my word, a stranger's word, over your family or the people of the village? I cannot yet say. I must hear what you have to say to make that decision. I suppose that might be better than you saying you'll believe me unconditionally. All right, I'll tell you everything. Just know that nothing I say is a lie. Understood. Giselle methodically recounted her tale for me. She told me of how she accepted an offer from the Bollingers to work as an abigail to earn money for her family. Of how my father, Antonin, had other plans for her. Of the things he did to her. She spoke dryly, simply putting words to each event, one after another. I had already seen how she felt deep down, though. Had heard her pained screams, which were undoubtedly genuine. I didn't think she was trying to deceive me. Good! Dang it. That was the sound of old wounds being torn open, and even I could see that. Or perhaps my own experiences were what allowed me to see it. Regardless, I had realized too late. I should have seen it sooner. She described it all mechanically, to remain detached from what had happened to her, to protect herself. Of that I had no doubts. Still, the things she told me were almost unbearable, and I had a difficult time accepting them. What was I supposed to do when I learned my father was a rapist? Yeah, I know, right? I think that's one of the hardest things. It's like, sometimes, like, it's easy for us to look at people and be like, oh, they look creepy, and then you hear, like, they're creepy or, like, a sex offender or you know, like, or a pedophile. You almost are like, oh, yeah, that makes total sense. The worst criminals, the ones that are really dangerous, are the ones that act perfectly normal. The ones who are psychopaths, who actually have the capability of hiding who they are behind their eyes, of behaving like normal people, having normal reactions and normal conversations. Sure, sometimes you can spot a creep a mile away, but those are the obvious ones. There's so many more that we never would notice. That's the whole show of, like, what is it, To Catch a Predator? I find that show incredibly fascinating because of how normal some of those people are. Not all of them. Some of them you're like, okay, that guy's a creepo. But so many of them are just normal people. People you'd never guess would be interested in contacting 12 or 13-year-olds for sexual favors. It's disgusting. And yet, it happens in society. It's happened ever since the beginning. But we finally have the means to kind of catch people in the act and properly get them punished for it. But it's still shocking to me. And the worst thing is when you find out it's family or a close friend, maybe someone you've trusted. I've had a friend who had many problems of this nature from her own family members. Family members who were devoutly religious and on the outside were perceived to be perfectly normal and acceptable, but they were pure evil on the inside. And that's something that's a hard pill to swallow. Can you imagine it being someone close to you, someone you cared and loved, somebody you really thought you understood, and then find out that they had this darkness in them? Yeah. You don't want to accept that. And the dangers sometimes that when you don't want to accept it, it's easier to believe them rather than the victim. And it's so destructive. What's happening to Giselle and the reason she's been brought to the brink that she's at is literally that entire point. That sometimes the victim blaming works. Far too often it works. And there's no easy answers to this. Vigilance, open-mindedness, an attempt to find actual evidence. You've gotta believe that anything is possible and that anyone is capable. Because if for a second you believe that somebody can be infallible, then they have that control over you and your perception. I'm not saying you should assume people are evil or assume that they do bad things just because someone tells you they will. But you have to trust in fact, you have to have compassion, and you have to be willing to accept that you could be completely wrong about their character. Just remember that. On the other side, it's scary to know that people have sometimes made false claims using this instant seek of gratification that we have, that we want to like punish people who do something like this, and people have used it as weapons to destroy people's credibility and even land people in prison for something they never did. That's the other side of the coin too. That's why we have to be careful, we have to be vigilant, and we have to base our we have to base our reality off of things that we can see and prove, off of evidence. Because somebody can go into your computer and they can plant files there. And soon we're getting to the point where you can doctor people's faces into footage from a camera and make it look so realistic. It's lip synced so well to to what's being said or what's going on that we won't be able to we won't be able to trust camera footage much longer. We're living in a world that's making it easier and easier to get fooled, and it's critical that we learn how to think properly, seeking evidence, concrete, proving it, and making things true as they are. Remember, think critically. Don't judge a book by its cover, and never accept an answer from one source. Always get second opinions, always have other points of view, and be willing to accept that no matter who you talk to, they might not understand the whole story. Anyway, enough of that rant, but please, remember to check sources, remember to look at where information comes from, and look at why it matters. It's really important. Anyway, how was I supposed to react to that revelation? What was I supposed to think about the fact that his blood flowed through me? I repulsed myself. Do you want all the details? What do you mean? Of the wounds he gave me? I still have scars of the things he did. If you don't believe me, I can show them to you. No, that won't be necessary. I see. That's a relief. I don't think I could have handled that right now. I hadn't turned down her offer for her sake. I only did so because I didn't think I could take any more. I averted my eyes to protect myself. Why had I taken my mother's word, brushing aside everything Giselle had said and done? I knew good and well my mother was no longer in her right mind. So why had I thought her letter the truth? Why had I been unable to think rationally? There were, I believe, several factors. My childhood, my past, the witch's whispers, and above all, my own character. Consumed with distrust for everything, I had to face it now. To open my eyes once more, to look at everything I'd pretended away until now. I was not completely blameless for her suffering, after all. Please, continue, if you will. I left off at the point when the mistress discovered what was happening, I believe. I was sent to this mansion to atone for my sins. Sins that she didn't even commit. It was decided I would be sent here rather than executed, which is what the mistress wanted. At first I assumed it would be essentially a private prison. But in the carriage on the way here, I was given a letter. A letter? From whom? It didn't say, but your father was the one who ordered me here, so I would guess it was him. The letter was very concise, simply explaining that there was someone already there. The Bollinger's youngest child. It didn't go into any more detail than that. But it did ask me to look after you. Where is that letter? Do you still have that letter?
I don't. The coachman took it back after I was finished. Thinking back on it now, that was rather strange of him to do. It was just a harmless letter.
It was anything but.
What?
It wasn't my father who wrote that letter. He believes me to be dead, so he would have sincerely thought that he was banishing you to an empty house in a remote forest. The writer couldn't risk leaving anything that might suggest I was still alive.
Then who?
My brother, I believe. Either Dellinger or Georgius, but I would guess not Dellinger, not Didier. I'm sure that I'm not reading these names right, but I'm sure they won't come up much.
Your brother? Why would he...
I do not know. I can't imagine why they would write such a letter, or why he would want to tell you about me.
I don't believe he had any ill intentions, at least. I mean, he asked me to look after you. That makes it sound like he's concerned about you.
Then why didn't he stay in contact? Why does he never respond to my letters? It's a bit late to suddenly start being concerned. That is odd. No, never mind that now. Please, tell me the rest.
Alright.
Giselle resumed her story from the day she fled the mansion, terrified by my behavior. She seemed to be putting a bit more emotion into her tone of voice now, perhaps because she could see I was more interested in this part. There was a deep sadness on her face as she described the night in the rain, listening to the thunder while she gave up on living. And I knew I had caused it. She then told me of a time when she spent in a nearby village. How at first life seemed wonderful, but in time it had come crumbling down. Naturally, she wouldn't be here to tell me this if nothing had happened there. Once she was through with her tale, Giselle let out a long, heavy sigh, as though she had been holding it in for some time. I thought I could hear faint trembling in the air as she exhaled.
That is everything. Do you believe me? If you don't, you still think I'm deceiving you, then I won't argue with you. That's fine. If that's the case, please just kill me.
Why didn't you tell me this sooner? I know I wasn't very open with anything you said, but if that day, when I found you in my room, you had told me I was mistaken, that the sin belonged to my father, it might not have turned out like this.
The knife.
What?
You were holding a knife. I can't handle blades anymore. Ever since what happened, they scare me to death. Just the sight of one in someone's hand, and I start thinking they're going to use it on me. I can't help it. I start shaking uncontrollably and grow faint of breath. The world goes white. I can't even form words. There's nothing I can do.
Now I finally see. She was grimacing in pain the day the package arrived when you knocked my hand away.
Because I was so scared. Because it reminded me of that time.
I had assumed she was simply jumpy from the guilty conscience. I felt nauseous, realizing I had poured a constant stream of salt onto her unmendable wounds. What a damned fool I was.
Why did you get so upset at me? Why did you have to point a knife at me?
I didn't want you snooping. If you meant to sell information about me, I thought I had to do anything in my power to stop you.
I'm still not convinced it was necessary. I was unarmed. I couldn't fight back. You didn't need a knife. I have nothing left anymore, so I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. You're a jerk. What you did was inexcusable. You may not have hurt me physically, but you still hurt me. Humans are frail creatures. They wound easily. Apologize.
What?
Apologize to me. I said apologize.
I'm sorry.
Again, put your heart into it. Convince me you mean it.
I'm sorry.
Again, once more, get down on your knees and shout it from your gut.
I am so very sorry.
Was that a laugh? Jeez, you're such a strange man.
Strange? You told me to do it.
Nothing's going like I thought it would. I figured even if we talked, you would just deny everything I said. I didn't think you would actually listen to me. But you did. You listened and you looked quite distressed by what you heard.
I looked distressed.
Oh yes, you sure did. I wish I'd had a mirror to show you.
Huh.
I'm sure you didn't want to believe what I said, but you didn't once accuse me of lying. You faced up to the truth and you apologized. I seem to have had the wrong impression of you as well. I didn't try to see you for who you were, instead letting myself believe you were someone to be afraid of. To be honest, I didn't like you very much.
The feeling was mutual. But for some reason, I don't feel that way now. Is it guilt?
I need to apologize to you too.
Apologize? For what?
I led the villagers here. I almost sold my soul to the devil. I tried to sell you out to save myself. And for that, I am truly sorry.
I don't understand.
What? Do I need to get down on my knees too?
No, that's not what I meant. The blame falls on the village for falsely accusing you of stealing. You were a convenient scapegoat for the real thieves. They planned to take advantage of you from the start. That Amade was probably in on it as well. To get back at you for rejecting his proposal. Plus, giving the village a single target to let out their frustration on would, in a way, help unify them. He used you to meet that end. In order to escape their trap, you told them about me. But this was after I had threatened you, causing you to flee from this place. You had nothing to apologize for.
Still, I still feel really bad about it. So, I'm sorry anyway.
You're unexpectedly stubborn.
But now that we both apologize to each other, we can call everything square.
Square?
Square. We're both in the wrong. So we apologized and we forgave each other.
She gave a little smile, but all I could do was stare at her, brow furrowed in perplexity, like I was looking at some bizarrely Fantasyland creature. The weight of our crimes was not equal. What I had done to her was so much worse. Furthermore, I am Antonin's son. His blood flows through me. Can you honestly say you don't find me revolting? That you're willing to forgive me for that? I didn't think I would be able to. If I were her, my grudges would extend to all my family, everyone I'd ever come in contact with.
I can. Although, you don't need forgiveness for being his son. Being related to someone doesn't make you responsible for their sins. It wouldn't be fair to blame you for that.
You're curious.
What? Curious? About what?
No, not that curious. You're a strange creature.
I'm human, you know.
Yes, I know you're human. You're making me lightheaded.
Is that a medical emergency?
It's quite a leap. That's quite a leap in logic.
You know, I was at my lowest just a bit ago, and now I'm laughing again. It's odd. I never expressed what I expected I would recover at all.
I was just as surprised as her. She had been through hell. She had been through enough to reason to despise me, to shower me with vitriol, but instead she was smiling. And even more unexpectedly was the fact that I felt relieved to see it. Wow. Sometimes it can be enough, just being able to say what's on your mind, to truly be able to finally express yourself. That can, in a weird way, it's one of the most amazing therapies ever. It's the same thing with crying. It's kind of a taboo, at least for Americans. I'm pretty sure it's most of the world too. Of crying is not manly. Like, men shouldn't have to cry. It's a sign of weakness, of submission. But I've learned that being able to cry is one of the greatest feelings in the world. You know, it's not fun while it's happening, but there's no better relief for pent-up stress and frustration. There's no better release than to have that moment. And the thing is, like, the majority of my moments are actually on this channel. If you watch my content, if you watch Move Love, especially Unlimited and Alternative, Steins Gate was pretty good in it too. Ooh, there was an unexpected one was, oh shoot, what was it called? It's two girls swimming. It just got announced it's going to be on the Switch soon. Fetch, what is it? Oh, someone was just watching it and commenting on it, even though it's like an older series. Which, it's a fantastic one, by the way, so if you can, go watch it. It's Seabed. Fantastic. Not even gonna lie, it's really good. On par with Fata Morgana. Very similar in art style, too, honestly. Definitely, like, it's one of those ones that, like, at first you might be a little confused at what's going on, but my goodness, by the end of it, I would, like, the last 3 episodes, I would just, like, it was just constantly bawling, recover, ball, recover. It was so good. So, yeah, no, those moments, sometimes in my real life, were some of the best things that ever happened, because, like, I would come away from that session where I've been literally crying on camera, and I would just step away, and it was like stepping into a fresh air, like a room full of fresh air, like stepping into spring when you've been in the middle of winter. Just, the world was anew again, and so I'm a big believer in crying. You hopefully timely crying, but crying nonetheless. And it's as manly as it gets.
It really, truly wished I had gotten to know him sooner. Yes, I had fled from the mansion in fear of him, but maybe if I'd had a little more courage, enough to tell him the truth, maybe he would have listened. I had let my initial impression of him solidify too quickly. I had convinced myself that he was insensitive, perpetually emotionless, save for the Arctic stare. But the man standing before me did experience sadness, pain, distress. Or, at the very least, he appeared to, from where I was standing. Michel was, just like me, an ordinary person. That said, there were still plenty I didn't know. I was still lacking explanations for much of his behavior. Would you mind telling me about yourself now? I'd like to get to know you better. What are you doing in this mansion, all alone? Why do you call yourself cursed? I told you everything. It's only fair you do the same. I have no interest in using your information for anything. I have no reason to. Or are you going to keep pushing the master and servant line? Do you still think I have no need to know?
Be quiet! For the love of God, stop talking already. You always pick the worst time.
What? Excuse me? What do you mean, I always pick the worst time?
No, I wasn't.
Unbelievable. Just when I was trying to think you might actually be a decent human being. Then you go and spout this?
No, Giselle, I wasn't talking to you.
Who else could it have been?
I was, talking to, you know, I have a condition that forces me to vocalize objections to my own thoughts.
You know, that's about as convincing as my allergic to people excuse.
Sorry. Come on, Michel, come on!
Weirdo. What crosses did he bear? What secrets did he keep? Maybe the truth was far beyond my reckoning. And if it was, even if it did, please, tell me everything. No matter what you say, I won't doubt your words. I will trust you, and I'm sure I can accept anything you say. Please, if you don't put it into words, I have nothing to work with.
Okay. Where should I start, though?
How about the curse, then? Are you actually cursed?
That's a difficult question. I cannot, for example, take someone's life with my curse, nor can I bring about disaster. I don't have any magical powers like that.
So, what you said outside was a bluff, then?
It was just a way to chase the villagers away.
Well, you certainly put on a convincing performance. So you can't actually curse anyone, huh?
Regardless, I am human. Nothing more, nothing less. At least I consider myself one. Others would disagree. And the real reason for that has to do with my body.
Your skin, your hair, and eye color, right?
Right. Ooh, we're gonna see a lot more about him, aren't we?
Seeing Michel under the sun, he certainly wasn't what most people would consider normal. Awe-inspiring, in fact.
Giving birth to me, it broke my mother. No, I drove her mad. Not only do I appear inhuman, I'm overly sensitive to light. While a little light through a window isn't much of a problem, I can't be outside directly under the sun for more than a couple hours. When she realized I couldn't go out into the sun, my mother started thinking I was possessed by a demon. So she banished me to this mansion until my curse was broken. That was 10 years ago.
Just because you look different from them?
The family's reputation was at stake too. If other noble houses realized they were given refuge to an unholy creature, it would destroy the Bollingers. You saw how the villagers reacted. They called me a demon when they saw me.
I suspect the rumors about the mansion played a part in that. If nobody thought the house was cursed, they wouldn't have.
I'm sure you were afraid as well. You saw me and thought I was not of this world, that I looked like a demon.
I thought you looked like an angel.
Oh, what?
I, at least, thought you looked more like an angel than a demon. I never once crossed my mind you might be evil. But I understand your situation now. Because of your appearance, you lived all alone in this dark mansion. For 10 years.
It was never really an inconvenience. They bring me all the supplies I need.
You big liar. Have you never considered running away?
That's not an option.
Because of the sun?
No, I could move during the night if I really wanted to. I'm being watched, to ensure I don't leave.
Watched?
They can't allow anyone to find out that I'm alive, particularly at the Bollinger estate. If I were to run, and they were to find out, I would probably be killed. If only I didn't stand out so much, I might be able to stay out of sight easier. But also, I had been holding on to a little hope, I think. Hope that I might be able to return someday. I have all but given up on that hope now. Not that I ever had enough willpower to really fight for it.
I see.
You don't need to worry about pitying me either. It's long since become normal to me.
That's not something that should ever become normal. So, what was that really a moment ago? You don't actually have a condition that makes you argue with yourself, do you? Please, tell me.
You don't have to believe me. In fact, I doubt you will. You're free to think I'm completely mad.
Don't worry. I want to know.
I can hear the witch's voice.
The witch's voice?
It started when I first arrived at the mansion. No one else can hear it either. Interesting. Can we hear it? We heard it a little bit in the text, but I think we're still at the point where we're kind of beyond her for some reason. Like I said, it sounds crazy.
None at all. I said I would trust you, so I believe you. Maybe he's not well. Yeah, that has to be it. 10 years all alone in one place, you're bound to start hearing things. He seems like a decent person, too. A delicate person, too. Thinking about it like that, I'm starting to feel really sorry for him.
Do I want to know what you're thinking?
I'm here for you.
Huh?
I've made up my mind. I'm going to stay here with you.
Wait, what?
Don't worry, I'll shout so loud you won't be able to hear that silly witch's voice anymore.
Will you now?
If you hear it again, let me know, understood? You don't have to be afraid.
I never said I was.
Whenever you hear it, I'll be there with you, holding your hand.
Okay?
Well, we kind of took the extremely long route, but there you have it. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Master.
Master?
Now, where should we begin? I know supper. Are you hungry? What should I make?
Slow down, please.
What is it? If there's something you'd like, I'm happy to accommodate.
You actually intend to stay here? Again? After what happened last time?
Because of what happened. Because of that, we're finally able to see past each other's surface. I want us to try again from the beginning, and this time actually try to be considerate of one another's feelings. That's a promise, Master.
All right.
I can stay here, right?
I don't mind.
I'm glad to hear it.
Say.
Yes, Master?
Ugh. If you ever want something from me, could I please ask that you put it into words? I don't have much faith in my ability to pick up on things.
Oh, got it. Then here's something to start with. What do you say we open some of these windows?
Open the windows?
Yeah, we don't have to if you think it'll cause you problems, but it would be nice to get a little light in here. I'd like to put an end to this house being a dark, closed-off cave.
I wasn't the one who barred the windows.
You weren't.
They were like that when I arrived. Made it seem like a very appropriate place to lock me away. While I'm sensitive to light, yes, as I mentioned, a little sun through the window shouldn't cause any problems.
Alright then. Can I ask you to help me open them? Let's both lighten this place up.
Interesting. So, the white-haired girl in the other stories, was that Michel being reincarnated, or was that an image that was, for some reason, projected onto different people? You know? Part of her, like, subconscious seeking for Michel, the white-haired man. Or not, I don't know. I'm not sure. I wonder if we'll ever get the explanation for that.
After a few moments of silence, Michel gave me a curt nod. While we couldn't do anything about the windows that had been boarded up, the two of us forced open the ones that were just covered by rusted-over shutters. When we got the first one open, a beautiful stream of light like nothing I'd ever seen before.
It must have been so refreshing.
Flooded into the dark mansion's halls. I had assumed the spring would never come. All we had to do was talk to each other, listen to each other, and everything else would fall into place. But it was the first step that was so hard, so much harder than either of us had expected. And now that the ice was melting, we had to treasure that. I might not have seemed like much to someone else, but to us, it was a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, you should be proud. Fetch, there's a good reason why they weren't talking to each other. But it's awesome. Oh, yes. I know it's going to end horribly in the next little while, but my gosh, I feel better.
This time, it'll all work out. It has to. I had all the confidence in the world when we were together, but now that I'm alone in the dark, in the absolute silence of the night, I'm starting to get anxious again. I'm starting to feel like something bad is going to happen, like I'm going to mess something up again. I took a big step today, and I know I have to keep it together to keep thinking positive.
Oh yeah, this guy. I can't remember what his voice was. The goods you're after, Giselle, are not cheap. Understand? Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the woman hath committed 3 sins. She hath lied, she hath stolen, and she hath betrayed her fellow man.
It's all right. It's okay. There's nothing to be afraid of, Giselle. Whatever happens, you had to hold fast to your faith and your goodness of others. You have no reason to tremble. Huh? Yes, come in. That's odd. I don't think I was hearing things. There's no one there. What was that about? Oh, a glass. It's wine, and it's so warm. I guess he heated it on the fire for me?
I don't know. Don't trust drinks that you don't understand where they came from. That's not a good idea in general.
Oh, you could have at least said hi. I have a feeling this is going to work out.
I don't drink wine. Does warm wine taste better or something? I don't know. I don't think it would. Oh, we're back here. Hey, Giselle. We all know this is going to go downhill really fast. By the way, I love the symbolism of the chains behind her. The light shining through the window was swallowed whole by the darkness. As if to say our time never actually existed. We saw it, though. Together, we watched the light cracked open the darkness. I'm begging you, please remember. And please find yourself. Please, Giselle, don't let the things you felt, the warmth that fell over us, remain lost to you.
I might have seen it. Seen that most beautiful light.
Giselle.
But are those truly my memories? Could they not be someone else's tale? Like all the others we have seen so far. She was so bright and energetic, and I am neither of those. Besides, the maid needs not a tale of her own.
This is not a story. These are memories. Mine and your memories, no one else's. It was all very much real, as were the kinder, happier days that came next.
Kinder, happier days? Those words create a strange warmness within my chest. But at the same time, they make me indescribably anxious. Is there really more happiness to be found down that road?
Even if our past doesn't lead to happiness, it couldn't be worse than where we are now. Come, Giselle, to the spring that made us more than just strangers. It's gonna get good, and then it doesn't end well, like every other thing. Alright, so we're back in that story. Anything from the witch? Yeah. Nothing so far. Okay, I don't have too much longer, but I did do a big rant, so I think I'm going to try and at least get to the next scene change, but we'll see what happens.
Master, come on, get up. Up with you. Master.
It's like, what?
See? What did I tell you? It's so much nicer in here with the little light.
Hey, this was the memory we found in the master bedroom. Morning.
Oh, wait a sec. Don't you hide under your bedspread? Get out of there.
I'm fine with my room staying dark. What is she even doing in here?
Oh, but Master, you agreed that I could open the windows.
I did, yes.
Don't worry, I put up the curtains. If it gets too bright, you can draw them. Mornings take the best parts of being outside and squeeze them all into the same few hours. You don't have to go outside in the sunlight for it either. Just listen to all the wonderful sounds. The joyous songs of the birds, the swaying of the trees, the rustling of the leaves. Am I being as pushy as I feel right now?
Kind of. But you wouldn't be you if you weren't, so for now, I won't get on you about it. Also, now that I know your real intentions, no, never mind.
I completely misjudged you. You're the exact opposite of what I thought you were.
What did you think of me?
Let's see.
I like that look on her face. She really looks like she's like. It feels like Giselle's character has been so like shunned because of all the terrible things she's been through. She seems like she would be and has been in the past like a very genuinely fun person, like someone who would pull pranks on other people and who would just love to make them laugh.
I thought you were cold and cruel, heartless and incomprehensible. But I'm beginning to get a better idea. You try to pull on airs, but you're really rather childish. You have a short temper, but you can be surprisingly playful. What else? You have a pretty difficult personality, too.
There's not a single good trait on that list.
Now, hear me out here. That's not everything. You gave me a chance to talk, and you listened intently. You can be kind of nice, too. We agreed we would live together, not just in the same house, so we've got plenty of time to add more to the list. And I hope you can make your own list about me too. This is just the beginning after all. We've got a long time ahead of us.
Oh, I wish we did.
Plenty enough to get to know each other, no? Let's not waste any time then. What do you say we do something today that we haven't been able to before? Where should we begin? Ooh, I know. We can get this place cleaned up.
You want to clean?
Now that there's some actual light in here, we can see all sorts of things we'd probably rather not. Like dust. All over the place.
My vision was slightly focused, having not completely escaped from Morpheus's embrace, but I could see well enough to catch her smiling brightly. That was the first time I'd gotten a good look at her in the light. I could see facial features I'd missed during yesterday's commotion and those glittering eyes. Not even a trace of the tribulation she had endured tainted her pure jade eyes. She is very pretty. Fetch, man. She's surprisingly good looking. I am clearly not myself right now. Oh, Michel. Michel. I feel like I talk to myself like Michel talks to himself.
Is something the matter, Master? I know. You're still half asleep, aren't you? I guess I'm just gonna have to throw my best bucket of water on you.
Oh, fetch. You mean seriously? Wait, what is the best bucket of water? I'm awake.
Is there something on my face, then?
Just far too amusing a sight to wake up to. Oh, that was cute.
Amusing? Oh, just get out of bed already.
What a noisy morning. Get used to him, buddy. But I think the price is worth the payoff.
I got my first decent look at Michel's face under the light that morning. Watching him stifle a yawn as he crawled out of bed, all the little details hadn't been able to pick up on in the darkness, his expressions, mannerisms, and the way he looked at me. I could see facial features I'd missed during yesterday's commotion, and those vivid, all-consuming red eyes. I was almost certainly, making a really dumb face at him. Is it just me, or is he kind of, very pretty? How could I not have noticed until now? Oh, wow, I can't look him in the eyes. Yes? What can I do for you?
She's so sweet. Is there something on my face?
What? No,
Wait, they both asked like the same question. Are they just remembering this day differently? Like when they both felt super awkward?
Huh.
Huh?
Hair monster.
Excuse me?
No, your hair, it's really long. Yes, that's it. It's way too long.
Oh. Is that any way for a servant to speak to her master? I'm just kidding. I don't have any interest in holding your status against you anymore.
I see. It's really hard to tell if he's joking or not.
So, about that cleaning. May I wash my face first?
What? You're going to help?
As I just said, I'm not going to act like I'm superior to you anymore. What are you snickering about?
I can't help it. I'm happy.
If my hair really does bother you, you can cut it.
Huh? I can cut it? Oh, of course. I'll give you the best haircut you've ever had. Oh, but I should warn you, you'll want to stay perfectly still. I'm a monster with a pair of scissors. My sister always said that you were likely to lose the ears you wear the hair whenever I cut it.
You stay away from me! Oh, they're genuinely so cute! Oh, fetch, I'm gonna hate it when this ends. Oh my gosh, that was... I don't know what to say. Oh, my heart just feels so good now. I hate that it's gonna be ripped out of my chest. Excuse me, I can't breathe. I was shocked at how much more comfortable I felt around her only one day after opening our heart up to each other. I don't know, that just does something magical between people. Maybe this was normal and I had simply never felt it before. I didn't know. I thought it would take years of work to get close enough to someone to be able to have a conversation without picking apart every little detail. But here I was, a day later, already there. Was that how it usually worked? Surprisingly, yeah. Like, my best friend in high school, still one of my closest friends today, like Toby, we literally, like, it's hard to even, like, remember how we became friends. The best I can recall, and he doesn't even remember this, best I can recall, we were on the same bus route. He happened to sit down next to me. We happened to start talking about a video game we liked. And then suddenly we were always hanging out with each other, in my memory. I can't fathom how the gradual buildup happened. I just remember from that point on, we would just hang out at each other's houses and just, we shared so many things that we liked in common and we just spent so much time together. He's the godfather for my kids. I mean, like, fetch. Friendship's weird. And I don't think it can be faked. I don't think it can be forced. I don't think you can just be friends with someone just because you think you'd like to be friends with them. Not genuinely. It has to just happen. Was that how it usually worked? Did people normally get close and draw apart so freely? I didn't find it unpleasant to have someone else around. It was a strange feeling. All that friction had disappeared in an instant. And it was like we'd known each other for years. Though not entirely willingly, we began sharing meals, something I had always done by myself.
Hey, I see you're shoving aside that parsnip. You need to eat everything.
Do you have any idea why there was so much rotting parsnips in the cellar? I don't care for it.
You could at least pretend to be ashamed. Sheesh, you're not a kid, so don't be so picky. It's not good for you.
Hasn't caused any problems thus far.
It will soon enough. Huh, I can't believe you. We have unlimited supplies and you won't eat your vegetables.
What is happening?
Oh, question. I've got an idea.
Go on.
Is the list of supplies sent by your family set in stone?
Meaning?
I was just wondering if it were possible to make requests. If we could, I would just go on a shopping trip.
Perish the thought. The only village around here I know of is the one you came from.
Right. Say, are you saying that out of concern for...
Who would ever be concerned about you? I just want you to be able to sleep well at night. And I'm not interested in throwing more servants into lions.
You know, you're a whole lot simpler simpler of a person than I thought you were.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, nothing.
Back to your question about the delivery, yes, you can. I haven't made any requests recently, but you can write what you want on a sheet of parchment, or, if we don't have any, something similar, put it in a box and leave it outside. As long as your request is not completely unreasonable, it should arrive within the next package. Why, is there something you need?
Yeah, I was hoping to increase our selection of vegetables. And while I'm at it, if possible. Actually, that's a secret.
A secret?
It's nothing too exciting. I'll tell you when the time is right.
Ominous.
My relationship with Michel gradually transitioned from master and servant to something closer to friends. He was still my master, but he allowed me almost complete freedom. And he didn't order me around either. He even gave me a hand with my work. Though he was still not very talkative and oft-times hard to read. He at least seemed to be making an effort to close the gap. He would on occasion tell me about himself, though not in much detail. If anything, his family came up, he grimaced uncomfortably. Apparently his father had wanted him dead. His brothers, though, had worked on creating a scenario in which he could live, faking his death and sending him to this remote mansion. I had never encountered Michel's brothers while at the family estate. But assuming he was right and it was one of them who had given me the letter, they were likely our only allies at the house.
I don't know what he's thinking. It's been 10 years,
Michel had muttered. To which I had replied, have faith. It was better to believe in something, even if it felt silly and unreasonable, than to lose faith in everything. My being able to find renewed belief in the kindness of people was what had allowed me to start smiling again after all. Because I was able to have that faith, I was able to enjoy life once more. It wasn't an exciting or thrilling life. It was a humble, simple one, with just the two of us. But I wouldn't trade that light for anything. Some people might think it dull or dreary, but it was ours. Master, I really truly appreciate that you want to help with the cooking. I do, honestly, but... This is apocalyptic! This is mutinous! It is an affront to gastronomy, and it's unearthly disgusting!
Give me better ingredients.
What?
I am not a bad cook. These are simply bad ingredients. If they were better, I would taste just fine boiled. And if it's not bad, it's not as bad as you claim, besides.
You make a mockery of the culinary arts!
I've been eating this for years. I don't see the problem.
I've heard quite enough, Master. Sounds like I'm gonna need to put your taste buds through some intense rehabilitation. I have to teach him what real food tastes like. Otherwise he won't be able to appreciate it if I make him something really good.
Oh, is that what she's doing? Maybe she's gonna make him like a cake or something? Oh, it's so lovely and fun. Alright. I'm gonna keep going, because I just want this happiness to continue. I have a feeling like it's gonna turn twisting.
Hold the chair steady for me, will you? I'm going to wipe down the top shelf.
I can handle it. I'm tall enough to reach it without standing on a chair.
It's not as simple as just running a rag over it. I've got practice, so let me take care of it, alright? There's a lot more dust than I expected. Probably shouldn't have used something to cover my mouth. You're going to have to hold your breath for this, Master. Alright, here goes.
She's quite practiced. Is there any need for me to be holding the chair?
Ah!
Hmm?
Ah! Chew! Ah! Ah! Ah!
Whoa! Oh, whoa!
Ah! Hold the chair!
Ow! Ow! Ow!
I'm so sorry. I didn't think there would be that much dust. Thank you for holding the... Master? Your hand is...
What?
Your hand is, it's on my chest?
Oh! It was an accident.
Right, it was. I'm fine, really. It was my fault anyway. It's completely, totally fine.
I can't even look her in the eyes. Could this be any more painfully awkward?
So don't worry about it, Master. Honestly, I should be apologizing for subjecting you to that.
That's easier said than done. I have to do something about this stifling awkwardness. For one, it was only for a moment. I barely even realized what it was, but that's not the issue. I need some clever way to brush all this aside. Something witty. Something tells her not to be bothered at all. Oh no. I'm not concerned. In fact, I see no reason to be concerned at all. Felt like I was squeezing an obese rat. Oh no. Oh, Michel, why not just take the dagger and just run it through your own face? Oh no. I hardly even perceived it as a breast.
An obese rat. An obese rat?
What?
How utterly insensitive can you be? I'm gonna rip every last hair off your head.
Ah! Leave my hair out of this. He's a rat. Oh, Michel. Oh, he's amazing.
Say, Master, what did you do all this time by yourself?
That's an exceedingly vague question.
Say when you were really, really stupidly bored out of your mind. What did you do to keep yourself occupied?
Meditate?
Just how many times have you reached enlightenment?
I sometimes play chess, too.
Chess? Wait, by yourself?
Yes, I imagine how an opponent might react to my moves and play the other side that way.
That's kind of depressing to think about. How about this, Master? Play a game against me.
Do you know the rules?
You bet I do. I do come from a family of merchants, so I keep up with the trends and know all sorts of games.
Oh-ho. He's like, oh snap, that sounds really appealing.
Prepare to meet your maker.
Man, Giselle's so fun. She lost horribly, didn't she? So, who was I supposed to prepare to meet again?
Come on, have a little mercy, you trounced me. One more time. I just wasn't on the top of my game.
When am I going to meet this maker?
What? How? When did you put me on checkmate? One more. Hold it, that's not fair. Take it back. Oh, my king. Please stop. Have mercy.
Amateur. He looks so smug.
Can't you just go by a little bit easier?
You never asked me to go easy.
The game, it's a slaughter. It's a one-sided massacre.
About this maker?
I'm looking right at him.
That was actually kind of fun.
No, it wasn't. I was miserable. Next time we're playing something fair.
Such as?
Let's see. Ooh, I know. Arm wrestling.
Huh. Arm wrestling?
Yeah, you sit across from each other, put your elbows on the table, grab hands, and see who can pin down the other.
Who would ever willingly participate in such a primitive competition?
Not interested then? Or are you afraid you might lose?
He's got a competitive spirit. Alright then. I couldn't imagine losing to a woman.
Okay, elbow on the table. Start on my count.
Keep in mind, she cleans. That builds decent muscle. It really does.
Ready, go!
Smash!
Victory!
Oh my gosh, it just never ends. It's just happiness after happiness after happiness. Are they gonna read in front of the fireplace? She's so happy. Oh, it's so good. Come on, smile, man, smile. There he is, yay! Yeah, lovely smile. Oh my goodness. It's all so good. I think we're going to stop it here, because I have a feeling it's going to shift gears here pretty soon, but man, that was just fun. I know it's going to be so horrible next week. I could just feel it in my bones, but let's just have a happy note. Let's just have a great, happy smile on our faces despite what's coming. That light is worth every second, no matter how dark the darkness gets. I'm really happy we're having to remember this. I really, really, really think it's worth it. Man, it's like they're having like a whole lifetime of happy memories in just like a few weeks, months. I don't even know how long it's been. But man, they both deserve this happiness. They both deserve it. It's long overdue, and maybe that's why they're almost frantically having fun. And it's funny because like it's the fun that's really meaningful, where it's like you can't think, oh yeah, we did all this. Like we sometimes think fun is checklists of doing certain things or going to like big events and having these big parties or having these big memories that you build over like a vacation or something. I think the best memories, the best happiness has to come from your daily life. It's not about doing chores. It's about finding the joy in doing chores. It's not about raising kids. It's about finding the joy of raising kids. It's not about doing homework. It's about finding the joy of education. You find joy in life. You don't get it thrust upon you. You don't spend money to achieve it. Certainly having money and having less stress in your life makes it easier to experience and express, but there are plenty of people with tons of money who never feel joy, or at least are unsure of how to achieve it. And yet some of the happiest people in the world are the humblest people financially. They're the humblest people in resources or ability to do stuff, because joy is unilaterally accessible to all people. The pursuit of happiness. One of the best phrases from the Declaration. Is it the Declaration? I think it is. Like, the rights, the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yeah. Or is it the Bill of Rights? I can't remember. Constitution. I can't remember. I should know this. I really should. it's late. I'm tired. I'm not going to flame me in the comments, please. Clarify it if you must. But life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life. Happiness is a pursuit. Happiness is something you seek and find in your own way, in your own time, in your own places. There's no formula for it. There's no guidebook for it. You can't buy it. You can buy a simulation of it, but it's never true. So seek that happiness in life. What an interesting ending. Last ending, I literally was talking about some of the darkest feelings that people have to confront. And now look, I'm sitting on one of the happiest feelings and happiest moments I've had in any visual novel. And I think it's because of the darkness that we had to tread to get here. And that's why it's going to be so much more heartbreaking when it's all wrenched away from us again. But, just reminds me to just be alive and just enjoy life. It's wonderful. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I hope you liked this one as much as I did. Oh my goodness. I'm going to be grinning for days. Should I just stop here? Should I just like stop the series here? We just say like that's the end, folks, and just pretend that the happily ever after? No, sadly we can't. But part of me wishes we could. But that's okay. Remember these feelings. Remember the joys they found, and try and find those joys in your own life with your significant other, with your children, with your family, with your friends. They're there. You can find them. They're around. You just gotta know where to look. And maybe we all just need to spend more time being truly 100% honest with each other, and we can find some of that comfort we've been seeing here. Because I think a big key to it is genuine openness, honesty. Like, oftentimes you have to take, like, I'll take, like, personality quizzes. I think they're really interesting, although most of them are garbage. But a lot of times a question will come saying things like, what's the most valued trait in a friend? Or what's the most valuable, like, what's the most attractive feature of a person's personality? And for me, honesty is always number one. I don't care if you have ugly thoughts. I don't care if you have quirky thoughts. I don't care if you have strange thoughts. I don't care if you have no thoughts. I just want to know what you truly feel. And that's something I think I'm doing for this channel. I can't tell you all of my personal stuff. First of all, you probably don't want to hear it. But even if you did, I don't need to be sallying my burdens onto you just because you happen to be here. But I do want you to know how I truly feel about this, because I find these things passionate. I find that these things bring me joy, and I find that they bring me sorrow as well. And so honesty is the greatest treasure to me. Because if you can tell me that you hate my guts to my face, at least I know where I stand. If you can tell me that something I'm doing is annoying you, at least I know what like the cause of the frown. If you can tell me how you feel, we can deal with it. We can move forward. And there's nothing worse than being lied to in order to try and get something out of somebody else. I prefer genuine people, even if they genuinely hate me. That's a good quote. Put that one on a shirt. But regardless, thank you genuinely for being here. You guys really do make this fun. I don't really try and focus on numbers, but seeing audiences grow and hearing your thoughts and hearing how much you're enjoying things as I go really bolsters me up and gives me more motivation than ever to continue to do what I do. But were you all to leave, I'd still make videos. Were you all to just suddenly depart and move on with your lives and find joy in other things, that's fine. But I'd still be here doing what I do. And it helps even having one person out there who's interested and who likes what I've been doing. So thank you. For you, the one who's listening right now, whoever you are. One of the downsides to a channel on social media is I don't really get to know the real you, and I shouldn't, because you need to keep that stuff safe. But I genuinely do appreciate you. And I hope someday we can end up running into each other, go into a convention or something where we can plan to get together in a big, safe, social area. But till then, I hope you can stick around and keep enjoying my videos. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your passing thought, whatever it is that brought you here. And until the next video you're watching me or happen to see me in next, I'll see you there.